one was it was a very contentious ADCC in the sense where there was a clear rift between the crowd and amongst the competitors, and I consider it a cultural shock, Dave. It's not just a matter of technique or, I'm rooting for my team, you're rooting for yours. They're very different approaches to sport, right? There is been a lot of trash talk from promoters, from competitors, from coaches, and that is unusual in the culture, right? Yeah. It's something that's been on the rise for some time, but this event, it was like the culmination of that sort of behavior. Like we literally had Gordon flipping off the crowd, after he won this fight, which to me is like, I can't imagine that happening in the Olympics, because we're calling ADCC the Olympics of grappling. I cannot imagine that happening, or in a judo tournament. Can you imagine that in a judo tournament, or even collegiate wrestling? I don't know. Does that happen?
No, it doesn't. That would be big news if somebody did that. You imagine like Jordan Burroughs and like.
I can't imagine Jordan Burroughs doing that after winning an Olympic gold medal, like flipping off the crowd. Like I just don't see that happening. And then the crazy part is like when you criticize these people, they call you a hater because you don't want to applaud their narcissism. It's like you're acting like you're at odds with everything the sport represents, which is respect, right?
Yeah.
And humility, and then whoever criticizes that is a hater, which is a strange dynamic to me. Like, you're the one who's hating the crowd for not liking your, childish behavior.
Yeah, similarly, you had another form of this, which was like Cyborg when he lost.
Yeah.
He started throwing a temper tantrum, and then he actually just bowed out of the tournament out of protest because he got upset. And this is kind of I think it was obviously because he was facing the same team because
there's some rivalry between him and the Gordon
camp. Guys. So like I think to lose to one of their guys again and then again that was close 0-0 ref decision type thing.
I don't think Cyborg got ripped off. I think it was close enough that could have gone either way. If I were the judge, I would have given it to Cyborg because it was a submission. I think I always valued submission more than position in terms of reward. Personally,
right.
It makes more sense to me, right? But I don't feel he got ripped off. But anyway, I agree. I think that anytime you don't accept defeat for what it is, you don't blame the ref. I mean, even when I've many times I disagreed with refs.
Oh yeah.
But I think that a matter of the cultural shock I'm really talking about, Dave, is like I like the Japanese style. I like that. Yeah. Like the bow, respect your elders, respect the people who taught you, the people who came before you. You don't use that, when you're representing the sport, you don't use foul language. You avoid it at least,
Yeah.
And we've swung all the way towards pro wrestling. It's like it's so close to pro wrestling now. I don't even recognize the sport. And you can see, because it's more of a Western tradition. Like, the West comes from boxing. Pro wrestling is huge in the West. Japan too, but I think they take it differently there. Like they don't, it hasn't gone over to the martial arts, the real combat sports. Like it doesn't transfer over, right? And to me, it's odd. Like in that sense, I think it was the worst ADCC ever because I don't like this sort of behavior. I don't think it belongs in martial arts. But that and specifically to as far as the lack of respect the competitors were showing to before, during, and after the fights.
Yeah, it goes against the ideals that we ascribe, at least in Western society, to the martial arts, which is like you're saying, it's humility, respect, honor, and all that. And when you have people flipping off the crowd or you have people talking trash, it sets a bad example, I think, because ideally who we want the next generation to be, the kids coming in, and then they're looking at that. Yeah. And this is like part of the Conor McGregor effect as well, which they've realized, it's much easier to get attention by slapping people than it is by shaking their hand.
Yeah.
So now everybody's going around. It's like a slap fest now.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but it's a reality of human psychology. Yeah. Like I always said, like if I walk up to you and I slap you in the face, you'll remember me for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But if you have a random guy shake your hand, you'll forget me, right? So we remember pain more than we remember like a good memory. Everybody's lasting impression when they see someone do this shock culture stuff, it's always going to stick, But it just sucks it has to be that way.
Well, I think that, like, for example, there are certain IBJJF rules that I don't like. I've never liked them, but I've used them to my favor.
Yes.
Can you call me a hypocrite? I've always given this a lot of thought. I don't like the rule. I think it's crazy, right? but I use that in my favor because the rules allow me to.
Yes.
There are tax loopholes in this country I think are absurd. I've used them like everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I think they're crazy, but I use them. Am I a hypocrite? If there's a rule I don't like in a tournament, right? I can't call the competitor a hypocrite. I don't blame these guys so much for doing it because they get rewarded for it. They're making money. I don't agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from, right? What I don't understand are people who applaud that behavior. That I don't get. Because like if I saw someone, if my children behave like that, like I'd smack them. Like you don't behave like that. That's not how you treat other people, regardless of, even if someone had said something first, you still don't do it. I think it's wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. If something's wrong, it's wrong in principle. End of story. But it just doesn't seem to be the case. Like people actually, it's like the crazier you behave, the more obnoxious you are. And I think you mentioned human psychology. I think that there's an aspect of human psychology, but we know that the opposite is possible because we've seen it as well. I think it depends which plant you water. You water the one that, breeds arrogance or the one that breeds humility and respect. But it depends on which direction we go as a society. But I think it's a symptom, David, of something much bigger than jiu-jitsu or grappling for that matter. It's
course.
something that's, we watched the rise of not only Conor, but the Kardashians, the Paris Hiltons, of the famous for being famous and be obnoxious online, and people love it. And that's what's so odd to me, is that people love that sort of behavior so much. I want to be entertained. Are you why can you not entertain yourself with good technique? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm after, man. I want to see the flying heel hooks, man, the jumping guillotines, the slams, the arm bars, the transitions. What's wrong with that? Is that so? Why can't that entertain people? Maybe I'm different. I don't need the soap opera. I don't need this trash talking. I think grappling is amazing for what it is technically. The hype is not. It's completely unnecessary. It doesn't make me like jiu-jitsu more. It makes me dislike it, if anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. I always like the guys who I consider good ambassadors of the sport. That's why when we had Mikey Musemi here, it was so refreshing because he's a young guy. Yeah. He's got his head on straight, and I think I've heard a little bit from Ty Bertullo. He seems like a really nice kid too, and so that's promising, but we do have these people who are just exploiting the tendency of people to want. And what you're talking about is true, though. Like, you don't see this happen in the Olympics or... And to a lesser extent, this doesn't really happen too much in professional sports like NFL, NBA, because the athletes get sanctioned or they get penalized, right? Because the NFL and stuff, they say, well, these are ambassadors of our brand, and if they're making us look bad, we're not going to get the sponsors, blah, blah, blah. So at some point, you wonder if people in grappling or even in mixed martial arts are going to start holding those similar standards to their athletes. Like, you can't go around smacking people or smashing cell phones, but at this moment it's rewarded, right? Like if you look at the UFC, it blows it's rewarded. Up. Yeah,
it blows up.
You look at like Gordon, he's getting rewarded.
The crazy part
he's getting so much coverage from Flow Grappling. Yeah. Like you said, you can't blame him. Like it's almost in the sense like you'd be stupid not to do it. Yeah. Because he's blown up.
Yeah, I blame more the crowd than him. But the crazy thing is that you get a Conor when he throws a trolley on a bus, or he punches some old guy at a bar. That helps him.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane to me that something like that actually helps him. I think he does this shit on purpose.
Oh, no, yeah.
He breaks someone's phone because it actually makes him more money. So it's like we're living in this crazy time. And I will not give in. I think it is an expression of human nature. It is not the only expression of human nature. We have seen better. But we're living at a time where the crazier you are, the more disrespectful, the more arrogant, the more obnoxious, and the more ignorant you are, the better. Like, people are applauding idiots. Like, let's every person who acts like a total idiot gets put on a pedestal. And the people who act respectfully, like I'd follow Augusto Mendes Tanquinho for many, many years. I have never seen that guy say a bad word about anyone.
Yeah.
I have never seen him disrespect anyone. He's not loud. Most people don't even know who he is. He even complained when he won. He got the mic and he said, when are you guys going to give me my proper recognition? I've won this. I've been winning consistently for 15 years. I've beaten everyone in the business. And you guys have given me zero media, when he's absolutely correct. And I was following the feed, and it was for every post of these other guys, there were 6, 7 of Gordon. And that is right there. I don't blame Flow Grappling either. That is a reflex of the crowd.
Yeah, that's what
they're going. It's a business. They're trying to go where, what are the analytics saying, right? Yeah. You get more recognition for this, you go in that direction. It's a business decision, right? I mean, I personally wouldn't, I wouldn't do that personally, but like, I understand where they're coming from. But when it comes to the crowd rewarding that, that's what's so unusual to me. Like, that to me is a big mystery, and I think it's a cultural trend that I hope changes, because I think it's not the best representation of the human spirit.
It definitely isn't, hopefully that turns, but we'll see. But
I'm sorry. I literally saw today Nick Rodriguez was being interviewed, and someone someone interviewed and they asked him, "So you think Cyborg is done?" Which to me is just such a disrespectful question. Cyborg is 39. He has absolutely nothing to prove. Granted, I don't agree with his behavior after the fight.
Yeah.
I get that. But the fact that anyone can even ask that question is such an idiotic question. He's 39. Look at what he's done. How dare you even ask the question?
Yeah.
To me, And then the response is, I don't think he was ever there. And this is coming from a guy who's like in his early 20s, and he's saying that to Cyborg, who's like double his age. Like, it's gone beyond disrespectful, man. Like, we've reached this whole new level of forget the people who have paved the way, the road that you walk on. You are walking on a road that was paved by the people you're disrespecting. And no one seems to think that's a problem. It's like they get applauded for it. Like, it's like morality got flipped on its head, David. Like, I don't even know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's a big mystery. And like I said, I hope it stops at some point.
Hopefully, but I'm not sure.
No, it looks like it's getting worse because now the young generation is watching. I'm like, oh, that's what I got to do. Yeah. So now we're going to have a lot of teenagers, and it's not going to be one Gordon in the future.
Yeah,
it's going to be an army of gold. Man, I hope I'm no longer around jiu-jitsu by then. I don't want to be around to see it. It's going to be ugly.